Hey class, so I put together this presentation for you so that you would essentially have all of the things you need to get an excellent grade on this vocabulary. So one thing you do need to know is that a straight mark that extends infinitely in both directions is a line. Okay, take a minute and screenshot that or pause the video. As we go through this video, there may be times where we want to pause it and screenshot it to help you do the vocabulary. So parallel lines, examples of parallel lines. Think of train tracks or piano keys. They are examples of parallel lines. Okay, parallel lines are marked by this symbol. So in this case, you would say line AB is parallel to line CD. So perpendicular, you would want to think of corners of a door or of computer screens. Those are perpendicular. Perpendicular notation looks like this, an upside down T. So in this case, you would say that line AB is perpendicular to line CD. Perpendicular lines form right angles. So if two lines aren't perpendicular or parallel, all we do is say that they are intersecting lines. Okay. You're going to need to know that rectangles are made up of parallel and perpendicular lines. You're going to need to know that parallelograms have exactly two pairs of parallel lines. Okay. You're also going to need to know that a rhombus, right, has four sides that are congruent, otherwise known as equal. Here's an example of something that is not parallel. A pair of scissors, they form intersecting lines. Okay, and you need to know that parallel lines never intersect. You'll be asked that question. You should know that if lines are not parallel, they are intersecting, but not always perpendicular. Okay, they can look like that, or they can look like perpendicular where you're forming right angles. You should know that perpendicular lines are always 90 degrees. You have to know that. Again, remember to pause, screenshot, and such as you need to. Okay, you should know that the letter O does not contain parallel or perpendicular line segments. You should know that a quadrilateral must have four sides and four angles. That's a quadrilateral. So not all quadrilaterals are parallelograms, but all rhombuses are parallelograms. You'll need to know this. Here's what you need to know about rectangles, right? They have four congruent angles. Not only are they congruent, but they're also 90-degree angles. They're all 90-degree angles, otherwise known as right angles. Okay, that's a rectangle. Perpendicular lines meet at right angles. You should know that because you know perpendicular means 90-degree forming lines that intersect. Here's an example of right angles, corners of rooms. All right, you have to know that a line is a straight mark that has no thickness and extends infinitely in both directions. Here's an example of some quadrilaterals. Okay, now out of these quadrilaterals, just want to point out that four of them are actually parallelograms too. Notice the pairs of parallel lines. However, I'm about to circle in red, the trapezoid is not a parallelogram. It only has one pair of parallel lines. Okay, you can see that this pair is not parallel. Okay, moving forward. A plane. You need to know that a plane is a two-dimensional flat surface, just like the top of your desk. Intersect, that means to meet or cross. You have to understand that. You have to understand a right angle is 90 degrees. You need to know that a degree is a unit for measuring angles. Okay, and here's an example of degree. Okay, you can see all the different measures in this image. You have to know that when two lines intersect, they form an X shape, just like the examples I've highlighted in green at the bottom of this slide. Okay, here's examples again of parallel lines that will never intersect. Quadrilaterals are any shape with 4 sides and 4 angles. Should know that. Okay, so you have to know that a line is made up of an infinite number of points in a never-ending straight path. You should know the difference between that and a line segment is that a line segment is made up of points, right? But it has a specific start and end. That's the difference between a line segment and a line. Which one of those are parallel lines? That's this one. You should know that in this image, line D intersects with line C. Okay. Understand that rectangles are parallelograms, okay, but trapezoids are not parallelograms. And finally, you should know that right triangles always contain a right angle created by 2 perpendicular sides. So you can see in these images, there is no right angle in that triangle, so that's not a right triangle. This one is not a right triangle. Neither is this one. You can see this has a right angle formed. This would be your right triangle right here, highlighted in blue. Thanks for watching.